For weeks, Donald Trump emphasized that talks over North Korea's denuclearization are on the right track. Now it's looking like the American president's patience is wearing thin. Reportedly, there's frustration over the pace of discussions and growing doubts over Pyongyang's sincerity to follow through on its promise. For details, let's turn to our EG1.
U.S. President Donald Trump has privately fumed at his aides over the lack of tangible progress being made on North Korea's denuclearization. This is according to the Washington Post on Sunday that cited half a dozen White House and State Department aides. The report says President Trump has requested daily status updates on talks with North Korea and is eager to see the implementation of the next steps to dismantle Pyongyang's nuclear program. This comes, the Washington Post said, as North Korean officials canceled follow-up meetings with U.S. representatives at Panmunjom 2 weeks ago, allegedly demanded more money, and failed to maintain even basic communications. In fact, there has been no significant progress made on talks with North Korea, despite Trump's touting of his summit with the regime's leader Kim Jong-un in Singapore last month. President Trump has repeatedly and publicly said his aides had good talks with North Korea and that Pyongyang promised to abandon its nuclear weapons. And although the North destroyed its Punggye nuclear test site in June and promised to return the remains of American troops killed in the Korean War in the next few weeks, the Washington Post says the missile engine testing facility that Trump said would be destroyed remains intact, and sources say Pyongyang is working to conceal key aspects of its nuclear program. Amid the lack of immediate progress, hardliners on North Korea have started to question North Korea's sincerity. Speaking to CBS News on Sunday, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham warned President Trump that he is being played by Kim. He said North Korea is playing the same game it did with former U.S. presidents, and that President Trump has to make sure North Korea and its closest ally China, which has started to pull back according to Graham, need to know that Trump is different from previous U.S. presidents. Graham said this should be done by giving a real stern warning to North Korea through restarting the halted joint military exercises with South Korea and setting deadlines on the North's return of America's fallen Korean War heroes. 이지원, 아리랑 뉴스.